J-Man, day 3 of my 13 days Halloween. First chunk of it done. Feeling tired already. I'm wearing a hat today. Didn't bring a hat with me today. Obviously not my normal place today. Change of scenery. Alright. It's another controversial one. It is a movie today. Today I'm watching Blade. Some of you might think it's not a horror movie. It's got vampires and it's a horror movie. Fight me. This is one of my favourite movies. Probably the first. This is the movie that got me back into superhero movies. Because when I was a little kid, I loved superheroes, obviously, right? I loved Superman as a kid. But I was starting to get bored of Superman when I was becoming a teenager. So when I first saw Blade, this is the movie that made superhero films badass. It was the first Marvel movie that was actually good. Somebody's going to go, I love the Fantastic Four movie in 1994. Fair play if you did. Not everybody did. I don't think anybody did. DC. They had Adam West Batman. They had Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. Then Michael Keaton made it cool again. But this was the first Marvel movie that was good. Not only was it the first Marvel, it was actually one of the first black superhero movies. Again, and it was good. Though it was the second, everyone was like, oh, everyone said Black Panther was the first. A lot of people say it's the first. I think it was actually Spawn 1 year prior. I love Spawn. Not as big a movie as Blade. So some would argue this was the first good black superhero movie. Apparently Wesley Snipes, who played Blade, was actually campaigning to play Black Panther, but it didn't happen, so he went with Blade. Personally, I think he made a good decision. I don't know if Black Panther would have been as good a movie then as it was now. Now it was amazing. I think it was surprisingly amazing, actually, because I think Marvel has a thing where they do well with lesser known characters, because not everyone knows who Batman is. I know he's not Marvel. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is, and they are sacred. So if you mess it up, there's an outcry. Whereas if you get a lesser known character, you can do what you want and you get extra freedom to actually make a good movie. Sometimes it's better than being specifically comically accurate. This film it's mostly right. It took a few liberties, obviously. First thing, Blade is actually supposed to be English. He was born in Soho, which is why I think if they were going to reboot it, my personal cast choice would have been Idris Elba. He's a little older, but he's a badass. Idris Elba should play every superhero, black or white. The man's brilliant. The new reboot is going to have, and I'm going to butcher this name, I do apologise, Mahershala Ali. I know him as Cottonmouth in Luke Cage, and he was brilliant. I loved him in that. He had an element of class, and I don't know, he was kind of creepy to me. I don't know. It was like he was cool, but he was a little creepy as well. I don't know, but I loved it. But a lot of this, something a lot of people won't know, this is actually the first Marvel Studios film. Yeah, the first Marvel Studios film. Marvel Entertainment at the time basically said they couldn't afford to make Spider-Man, I think. So they were like, well, let's just make a movie that we own completely. So I think they trusted it to New Line. I think this is also the only Marvel movie on New Line because it's owned by Warner Brothers, who would make DC movies. So this one's a little bit unique. But the only reason we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe is because this film did well. If this film had done badly, it would have gone tits up. Because I think this is going to restore people's faith in superhero movies, specifically Marvel superhero movies. Because when they saw this, they were like, oh, Marvel are making badass movies. They've made a movie that's an 18. I don't know what rating is in America. Is it rated R in America or is it M17? I'm not sure. But it's badass. It was very badass for its time. There's F-bombs, there's a lot of blood, you know, it's hardcore. And again, it was the late 90s, this was like, you know, Extreme Wrestling. People wanted hardcore, you know, and this movie gave that. This is like the Tommy Dreamer of superhero movies. I'm going to campaign that now, that's his thing, that's the Tommy Dreamer of superhero movies. Actually, my favourite cast choice in it was Quinn. I can't remember the actor's name. But I know him as Harvey Bullock in Gotham. And first of all, I love the fact Harvey Bullock was a main character in a TV show. I loved his character so much from the animated series and from the comics as well. In the animated series, he was brilliant. So I'm so glad that he got the main character. Apparently, he was only intended to be a minor role, was Quinn in Blade. But they had enough faith in him. And they gave him a bigger role, which I'm so glad they did. The guy is brilliant. He's hilarious. Apparently the scene where he's burned and he goes to bite the girl's neck, he actually gets so overzealous, he goes to bite and he actually dislocates his own jaw. So they send him to hospital, and as he's still in full makeup, people think he's a real vampire, which I think is hilarious. I think this movie also made vampire movies cool. Because Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it was old school. It was just kind of more sexual, but it was still old school vampire movie. Lost Boys was cool, but this one was more hardcore. You know, so I think this one made vampire movies cool. Yeah. So, there you go. This is one of my favourite movies. I mean, I'm excited for the reboot. I think this movie is... The reboot is planned to be in the MCU. I don't know if they're going to make it R-rated, because I just can't imagine Disney producing an R-rated movie. So I'm like, be careful with it. You know, I'm not saying a 12-rated Blade movie would be bad, but I feel like to use it to the best of its ability, it's got to be R-rated. You know. We'll see. We will see. But I would like... I mean, it's not even about swearing. It's about blood and violence, basically. I mean, Wesley Snipes was a fan of martial arts movies, and he put that across in this one. And he said, at the end of the day, it's a vampire movie. There's gonna be blood. So, Wesley Snipes tweeted chillax. 2 X's. I think he has faith in the cast choice. Because I think, again, Ali is a good actor. And we've also seen him in superhero stuff before in Luke Cage, so we know he can carry this. And he was so good in Luke Cage, and this guy needs his own movie. He's getting it. So there's a fan picture. I'll see if I can put the fan picture here actually, because it's not real, but it's not an official one, but it looks cool. And if the movie looks anything like that, I'm super down with it. Apparently though, Wesley Snipes wasn't the first cast choice. Apparently Denzel Washington, Lawrence Fishburne were eyed up, but I think they did have Wesley in mind. Another bit of trivia. The character of Whistler was not originally from the comic books. Dun dun dun. No, in the Spider-Man animated series, they used the character and they liked him so much they put him in the film. I'm glad. I think he needed, because Blade had no friends. Otherwise, Blade would have had no friends, and he needed that. So, and it's also like it's something to fight for, which is why, like, you know, the addition of like Damian being Batman's son makes it all so much more important. It's like, this isn't just some random kid, this is your son that's, like, you know, on the line here. So apparently Jet Li was originally offered the role of Deacon Frost, the villain. Again, that would have been a very different movie if we'd have had Jet Li. The movie, like, imagine this though, in 1998, nobody would have said anything about whitewashing the movie, but they wanted a very diverse cast. Before the days of Black Panther. Oh, is it the Book of Erebus, the vampire Bible in the film? Erebus was the Greek god of the Dark Knight. I'm going to leave that one out there. For those of you who wondered, Blade's sunglasses are called Black Fries. The model is called the Microfly, in matte black. So if anybody ever wanted to buy some, buy the real thing. Don't buy some Blade knockoffs. Buy the real thing. There you go. Apparently this film was actually the film that saved the superhero genre in general, because bear in mind, what big movie came out a year before? Batman and Robin. I do want to do a video where I defend Batman and Robin, but it's hard to defend. I mean, is it a good movie? Probably not. But people say, is it a bad Batman movie? That's if you depend on if it's a bad Dark Knight movie, or is he playing a new version of the Adam West Batman? Food for thought. The Prodigy were offered the score, but they toned it down. That would be cool, because there's a lot of that kind of music in this film. So it would have been pretty sweet to hear the Prodigy. Whistler, he introduces his name as Abraham. Short for Abraham is Bram. Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula. Another also is Abraham Van Helsing from Dracula. So I think might have been a nod to that. Donald Logue was Quinn, by the way. LL Cool was also considered to play Blade. The character Pearl, who's like the big fat vampire, apparently they had to build a set around him because it was so big. I think I was watching the a commentary or a cast interview or something, and the guy who plays Pearl said the suit was crazy hot. I think they actually had to put fans in it or something because it was like he was dying in that suit. Apparently he used to eat the hearts of children, did Pearl. That's something. I'm just saying though, Blade gave Pearl a hard time. In my Blade 2, Pearl would have come back and would have been a more formidable enemy, but then he would have eaten Blade's heart. I mean, Blade would have killed him in the end, but, you know, I think they should have had some redemption. The movie playing on the television in one scene is Mortal Kombat. New Line Cinema as well. Came out a couple of years before. I was thinking of doing a video on Mortal Kombat, but I don't know if that fell into horror, and I was like, that's too... Blade, in my opinion, Blade's definitely a horror movie. In Blade 2, I think every scene there's a TV on, they're watching the Powerpuff Girls. I have no idea why, but I love it. Patrick McGoogan was the original first voice to play Whistler. Deacon Frost was originally supposed to be an older German gentleman, but I think they went for a cooler, younger version of the character. And again, it worked. But again, I think people needed that. Which is probably why they made Blade an American actor, because they wanted him to be cooler than he was in the comic books. Apparently Blade's sword lacks a guard, or Suba, which apparently makes it impractical for sword fighting, I guess because it can just slip out of your hand. I do have a replica, actually. You see it in my unboxing video for last year's WWE game. My cheap replica. It's not the official one. Can't afford the official one. It was Wesley Snipes' idea for Blade, for Pearl's lair to be in a freezer. Blade's first appearance was in Tomb of Dracula, issue 10, 1973. In Blade Trinity, you see a copy of the Tomb of Dracula comic, which was like, see what you did there. I don't know why comic books can't exist in a superhero's universe though, because in '89 Batman they shot a scene where like Batmania was a thing. Everybody wanted a Batman t-shirt. There was a Batman shop, which apparently they did have at the time. But the only problem was the pinball machine had Bruce Wayne's face on it. So I think that's why they had to cut it from the film, which is hilarious to me. You're Tim Burton. You could have sorted that out. One thing I don't like, Arlie Jover, who played Karen, I think, had limited acting experience, but apparently they thought she had the right sex appeal. And as much as she did a fine job, I was like, you could have chosen an actress to play that role. Just throwing that out there. Oh yeah, Blade has all their strength and none of their weaknesses, which apparently is not true. Blade still has the thirst for blood, although Frost doesn't see that as a weakness. Apparently, Stephen Dorff modelled his version of Frost on other villains, such as Jack Nicholson's Joker. Jack Nicholson was so good. Find me if you don't agree. I think Jack Nicholson was my favourite live-action Joker. I know everyone's going to say that the Dark Knight was, which is fair play. I think it's a different character in my opinion. But Joaquin Phoenix, not for me. Just throwing out there, I know someone's going to hate me for that. Mark Wahlberg was considered to play Frost. That would have been a different movie. That's a movie I would have watched, to be fair. They wanted to make it badass. You cast Mark Wahlberg. Cast Marky Mark. Okay, this one's going on, so I'm going to call it a day now. Or otherwise, I'm going to be up all night. Okay. Review. I'm even going to review this movie because, in my opinion, this movie is a 1,000,000 out of 10. Love Blade movies. I think it started something new. Not only for superhero movies, for black superheroes, and for Marvel movies. This movie has it all. Love it. I am excited for the new film. I think it's in good hands. I don't think MCU have done a bad movie yet, in my opinion. So hopefully they don't start here. I think they know what they're doing. Then whatever they're doing, fair play. Do what you need to do. Okay, I think I'm gonna shut up now. Happy Halloween. J-Man out.
Let me in.